So, my commentary on our three books. Mindset. Naisbitt does a great job explaining, describing the hotels he's visited. All right, he does other things too, but I just thought his description of that London hotel, okay, it's nice to know he's taking us to these different places. And I think he does the name dropping in a better way than the third book, Canton, because I think Marge pointed this out. It seems like this guy just wants to tell you all the people and his clients that he's been working for. And most of his presentation seems to be, we're the Pentagon and we're receiving information on what the update is. I mean, his view of what the future will be is a view for America. It's not a global view. It's Canton, in my experience, is so worried about the state of the current structure of democracy, however you wish to describe it. He wants to maintain the status quo, and how can we do that, and what are the threats to that status quo? That although he talks about so many of these opportunities that are coming in the future, there doesn't seem to be an evolution in his view of, how will we protect democracy as we know it? In a sense, the world will change, and this is what we can do to make sure we don't have to change. Whereas Cornish has more of a, well, what could happen? His 8 benestrophe. His 8 benestrophes start off as something good, but then I don't know what's wrong with my thinking. I can see all the things that are going to go wrong with it. So when we have to come up with our benestrophe, I can come up with one, but then I see what's going to go wrong. So just war fades from history. He's going to have institutions that prevent war. I mean, they should shut me down from the things I'm doing because I'm promoting upset. Because war is essentially an extended upset, right? It's a disagreement that has been allowed to turn into violence, right? It's an unresolved disagreement. So, by extension, in order to prevent war, we have to prevent disagreement. And that's what his institutions will be about. Okay. Second, energy that is almost free. Well, if you talk to my students who come from Europe and Asia, gasoline is practically free over here. It already is that way. And look at the hassles. He's claiming that scientists will find ways to produce energy very cheaply. That just sounds like there will be a lot of heat going out again, and now we just have more global warming. It won't be carbon dioxide maybe, but it'll be something else. So you've heard of heat islands, right? In a city, additional temperature. I don't know. I come from a background where conserving energy was a form of character building. So if energy is free, that entails we're not going to need to turn off or turn down the thermostat. I mean, this benestrophe leads to character laziness. Each one of these, happiness pill. So being sad will be a condition that's treatable. So Elton John's sad songs say so much. Turn them on, turn them on, turn on those sad songs. I forgot the words now, but it was a 1984 song. He would never have written that song if he hadn't been sad. So sadness, the blues, we're going to remove this benestrophe of the happiness pill will lead to some great sadness for me. I see a catastrophe not having blues in my life. Number 3, the world brain will be constructed. Well, okay, so here's the assumption that you have a big enough computer, It's going to be capable of solving problems. This is that Asimov worldview. His Foundation series, don't know if you guys know about this, it's a set of 3 books. There was a really smart guy who predicted the future, and he made a series of videos that were to be played at critical times. It's the Foundation series. And when there was a crisis, you turn on the video, and this guy has figured out what will happen, and this will be the information that the civilization needs. Fine. This is the assumption that with enough information, we can find the answer. You know, the data goes in, and then the conclusion comes out. Let's all turn to psychologytoday.com. psychologytoday.com. They have a recent report or study that has showed that people who have become fixed in a viewpoint, when presented with facts countering their viewpoint, actually retrench and become more convinced that they are right in the face of evidence. So that's a report from Psychology Today. Therefore, this benestrophe of the great supercomputer brain, world brain, it'll be a waste of money. It will. The best thing that will happen is that more people will read Psychology Today and find out, just because we have the super brain does not mean that the problems will be solved. We may have the answer provided, but it will not be implemented. So what's the benefit of this super brain? If we're getting all the answers, but nobody will want to implement them because they are retrenched in their worldview. Permanent human settlements in space. Great. At what cost? I think it's wonderful to have these people outside expanding frontiers and alleviating poverty. Overpopulated nations would have a place to send their excess people, reducing crowding and alleviating poverty. Please, this is not free. I don't mean to be negative here. I'm a very optimistic person. I just think that there's catastrophe connected to this benestrophe. Drugs to boost human intelligence. Well, now we get into have and have-nots. This supposed benefit of being able to hand a pill and people become more intelligent. Would we then have a group like Doctors Without Borders going into communities, dispensing the materials free? All right, that's part 1. All right, I promised to finish off in 5 minutes, so we just...